Hello everyone. Hello. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Just starting up the stream. Just being patient with me. Right. This should be on now. It should be on, I hope. Right here. Right. Okay, we're here. Everyone, how you doing? Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. So we're working on the last stream, our last video, basically on the planning phase of our development of our software project. We've kind of decided to go with a integrated lifestyle manager, and that is hopefully the plan, just to kind of get that going, build up a solution program called NewMe, and we were creating some of these folders. The only real work we started on was on the BA files. So my background is in software development, so I'm more of a developer, but I know how to do pretty much anything within the development lifestyle. So we're going to just go and walk through that together. I think we were really focusing on just building up the project charter. There's quite a few of these things available, and we were using ChatGPT to help us fill in some of the technical gaps as well, and helps us to kind of follow through this aspect as well. So if we go ahead and select this one, that's not it. Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. There it is. BA requirements. So that was the BA requirements that we were working on and looking at last time. We were just filling out the project charter. We're hopefully planning on trying to finish this, build out some of the use cases, BR business requirement document, some wireframes. We'll see what we can do all the way up until 12. So hopefully we have like 2 hours, 30 minutes of the stream. So, right. So at the moment we were looking at just finishing off. We came up with some of the ideas that we were going to finish off with. And I believe we were going down the checklist of how we could complete a write a good project charter. These are some of the suggestions, I believe, and this is some of the objectives that we asked ChatGPT to help us come up with using the SMART technique, the project objectives. I believe we were just looking at the remaining methods over here quickly. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. So the way we're doing this is where let me just snip this part of the list so we can keep it on screen while we're working. Idea is that we write some kind of work or some details within ChatGPT, and it kind of helps us refine it, so we don't spend too much time working on this. Right, there we go. Okay, so hopefully we can see both sides to a degree. There you are. Nice. Okay, so that's everything here. So at the moment, what we're looking at finishing off is the project scope. And so we were looking at the project objective, so defining project scope. So let's go ahead and do that. Scope statement, and we're gonna just give that a header. Give it a header of 2. I can't remember if it was. Yep, header of 2 is fine. And then we go ahead and check the points. So what we want to try and do for scope statement is define the boundaries of the project by outlining what is included and what is not included, specifying the features, functionality, and deliverables that would be delivered as part of the project. So we've given some of these project objectives, and we've clearly written the goals of the project, and I think the boundaries being what we include and what we're not including. So everything including, so everything within the project objectives will be included, while everything outside won't be included. So anything, so we'll go like this. Specifically, what we're going to now include. At the moment, we've written some stuff about work-life balance, and the app is specifically for our management of life principles. So in terms of like what we're trying to do, planning events, lives, achieving goals, kind of embarking on a user-centric design that allows us to kind of inspire and support others to build healthier, more fulfilling lifestyles. So it's basically anything that doesn't really fit that bill. So anything that won't contribute for. So specifically, I think there's honestly, I'm struggling a little bit here because the bounds can be endless. But at the moment, it's just anything that hasn't been included within the list. And over here is saying specify the features, functionality, and deliverables that will be developed as part of the project. So let's ask you, can you help me write Alright, so at the bottom here, so let's see what it says over here with some of the engagement features that we wanted to put out. So this is where we are at the moment. So specify the features, functionalities, and deliverables that will be part of the project. So these are the 6 objectives that we're following. So ChatGPT suggested to use some of the features. We can add some more. So there's a discussion forum, allows people to speak about the app or share what they want to share, enabling sharing of those goals and progress to social media. Planning tools, so some kind of coordination planner using a calendar or some sort, including even some videos. Maybe we can even have people share videos of goals, like finishing off a marathon or something like that, just to share those successes. And then we have the fitness and tracking, so logging the workout, goal setting, progress tracking, and so on. Financial planning, we want to do some budgeting, allowing people to create those budgets. Yeah, so these are all pretty much even specific features that we will reuse. So scope message. I can also have, can you help write me a scope message? We'll see what it says. So this is a repeat of exactly what we've kind of gone through. So these are some of the key deliverables that we want to work on, and these are just with a timeline, resources, risk management, and communication. So I'm not going to need, we're not going to need everything here. So the only thing we're really going to need is these key deliverables that will probably be done here. That's the next part, hopefully. So let's finish off this part here. And that part was specifically this one. So these are some of the aspects that we want to use. Just copy this good stuff over. Okay. So a lot of stuff there. So formatting is a big thing here, especially since we're literally copying and pasting some of these alterations that we made earlier. So ChatGPT helps us build upon what was already written by ourselves. There we go with the budgeting. Right. Almost done. There we are. So these are some of the, as mentioned, these are some of the specifics, features that we're going to be using, functionalities and deliverables for part of the project. Now, in terms of looking at the fourth point over here, and we are going to be building deliverables. Oy, disaster that was. This is the deliverables, and we are just going to put that as a nice header. And basically, this is a list of tangible outcomes or products that will be produced by the project itself. This includes the web application itself, documentation, training, and so on. So basically, what we're trying to get the end product of. Over here, ChatGPT does some funky stuff. Basically, just rewriting these key deliverables. I don't think it understood what it was trying to do. I think the key deliverables may be a little bit different from these deliverables specifically. But yeah, in terms of the tangible outcomes of the product, so we want to produce So as it mentions itself, so a web application. We would like to do a mobile app in the future. Mobile application in the future. Web application. We do want to build up some documentation. And then we want to try and build more than just some of these training. I think it mentioned some training material, but for now, let's leave the training material and just leave these aspects. These are the three things that we really want to try and get out of to produce. And then we can just double check for deliverables. Are these solid deliverables? See what ChatGPT. And then we can ask it, so any suggestions? Any other suggestions for our deliverables? Oh, copy that. See if it's got any other suggestions that could be done. API, that's what documentation will probably be. Statistics, customer support, that's not happening. We don't have any, we're not going to have any, we're not hiring anyone. We're not hiring anyone. Accessible features, localization, internationalization. Right. Yeah, so some of these things are solid. Obviously the API documentation, part of the documentation. And then we have the data analytics. So in terms of reporting that that tool. That should be part of the web application, customer support. No one's going to be working on this for now, at least. And then here we are with the external support. So this is the ability to integrate other aspects into our application, which is again part of the web application. Accessible features, again, part of the web application. And of course, we got to make sure that this is also part of the web application. So all of this should be part of the web application. And if we just do that here, implementation, data analytics, and reporting. And then customer support. As much as I don't really want to put it, but we'll keep it in there for things that we would like to do, especially in the future. My word, man, this spelling is disgusting, isn't it? Documentation. And then we have the other stuff with, I'm really not going to mention too much, but yeah, integration of external sources. Now, I'm not sure exactly what sources I'm willing to use. That's going to be external. Obviously, it has to be free and reasonably reliable. So we don't include features that or integrate software that is not going to have a long lifespan or anything like that. So it will take some time to judge. I'm sure there's a way of having that as a risk, I believe. Alright, so we finished that off. Obviously the features and stuff, so the objectives above. Righty mighty. So I think that's it really. Integration, sources, and then I've always found that this is a lot easier just to do. So over here we're looking at the primary deliverables, central features, and so on and so forth. Documentation, we're just double checking that this is stuff that is correct. Yep. And then we have mobile apps, an extension for mobile apps. Right. Okay. I mean, there's nothing really needing to elaborate on this further. So let's move on to the fifth one. And that is the aspect over here. So let me just double check if the stream is still streaming. Yep, it's still streaming. I remember there was a small issue that I've seen with the quality. I had a watch of my own video and I did see it was quite blurry. So I'm not entirely sure why that's the case. So hopefully I'll do some investigation and try and get this as crisp and clean as possible for you guys to watch with the pleasure. But yeah, let's get to the key milestone. So key milestones over here. Key milestones. Right, and then over here, got a message of exactly how do we know what phases of the project that we're in, and when it reaches that milestone, defining the specific milestone, completion of each phase, and including estimated timeline for each milestone. Right, so this is it's not my favorite part because it's going to be a lot of guessing. A way I've kind of been imagining this is we break it down according to objectives. Some of these objectives, we have 6 at the moment. Each one could be its own milestone or major stage of the project. So let's write that down. So major. phases or stages of the project include all 6 objectives. So it would probably be just rewriting these things below. So here we go. Copy that. There we go. Get rid of all those things. There we are. All those points. And then we'll have each one of these being its own milestone. And we'll use the numbered points. So this will probably be the first milestone, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And then we could even, and this is probably major phases or stages of the web application. Project. And when we kind of work on the phone project, that's hopefully going to do and redo the same thing. So let's actually include that. So and mobile application for both. So this hopefully should say, so the major phases or stages for both the web application and mobile application projects include, and we remove all. Right, so these are the 6 stages. Now let's try and define the specific milestones that mark the completion of each stage. So again, it's just fulfilling these kind of features. So each feature would be part of that mark complete towards that milestone. So let's write that down here. So specific milestones that mark the completion of each phase. Right, marking right. Right, so these are the specific milestones that mark the completion of each phase. So for phase 1, let's just copy and paste this. We'll have 6 phases. 4, 5. There it is, 6. Make that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the specific part of that will probably be a small header. And over here, it'll probably be just as mentioned above, the inclusion of a discussion forum, social media. So let's recopy all of these ones. Collaborative planning, so on and so forth. Then for phase 2, which is the fitness tracker. So once we're finished, specifically these are each of the milestones that complete the completion of each phase. So this is each of these are a phase, a major phase. So let's write that down over here. So some of these are the features, these are the bare minimum. We could come up with some new ones on the spot. but for now we can stick with these ones. Phase 2, Phase 3, which is the financial app section. Now I know I've made it so, or seemed to make it so, that these are the order of us implementing the goals, but this is a work in progress. We can actually do whatever we want, so we can swap this around, do it whenever we want. If that's the case, then probably would have been better not to name it 1, 2, 3. So we will rename this to the specific phase that it's called, so the user engagement phase and so on and so forth. And we'll try and use some acronyms as well, because we don't want to type everything out. But that's got this one, and then we skipped the event one. Give me some, bear with me. Probably the longest part of the stream is just getting this documentation right. And it does seem there's a lot of repetition here. This is repetition that can really make things easier. We are fulfilling what is expected of us for some of these documentations. This is what BAs have to do as well. And this all has to be approved. So we're really doing it. We're taking this liberally. No one's really scrutinizing our work. If they do want to, then go ahead. You're welcome to. Just let us know. We'll try and improve that. So yeah, it's just my interpretation of how we can do it. And we have the acronyms we're going to start using, hopefully, from throughout the rest of the documents. Engagement feature, user engagement feature, if, all right. And then we have the fitness tracker functionality. And we have the finance planning tool, a nutritional meal plan, so on. So nutritional meal planning features, oof, seem like they're big companies, aren't they? Event management tools, EMT, okay. And then almost the final thing, so work life balance resources. So yeah, these are the acronyms. We're just going to be using these ones, hopefully. Feature, so phase 6. I'm going to just call this the by the acronyms. Remove the numbers because we don't want to make this document difficult to change in the future. So it doesn't really make a difference about the order that we're doing it in. And if we want to, we can do that here, hopefully. These are the budgeting, this is the financial one. User tracking, awesome, almost done. Now then, we come up with the time scale. Honestly, to be frank and honest, I have no idea how long this is supposed to take, and I'm not going to put anything down. We can say months, years. It's just not relevant. So we'll avoid this for now. Not sure how long it will take. It could take forever, so let's not do that, even though we want to, because we're not working on this 24 hours. We're not really taking this as seriously as a real business, so it wouldn't really make too much of a difference in terms of the time scale, but we do know what the milestones are, how we can mark each one. So that's the most important thing for that. So let's move on to the 6th one. So the constraints and assumptions. Now I'm going to avoid this one. Yeah, I'm going to put this into the let me try and remember where it is. What's it called? Risk analysis. It should hopefully be here somewhere. Was it on the the RAID? These are risks, assumptions, and then issues, and then dependencies. So these are dependencies, so that's hopefully what goes in there. The risks also go in here. Assumptions go in there, and I'm assuming the constraints and assumptions are pretty much the same thing. So we'll put that all in the RAID log. So hopefully all of this will probably be put in the RAID log, and as such we can start working on the RAID log now. Or we could just put it in this folder and this file, and then liberally put it into the RAID log. Just for completion's sake, let's put it all in the project chapter, so we have it all in one place, and then if people want to look at one document, then they've got the document that has everything in there. The RAID log will also have its sections as well. Okay, here we are. Let us type this out, shall we? So at the moment we're going to look at the constraints now. Constraints. I know you guys aren't able to see this, but I literally am wearing gloves. That's why my fingers are mashing every single button other than the one I want. Assumptions. Very cold morning here in the UK, so constraints. Assumptions. Right, so this is the next part. Right, so for the constraints, we got identify. Let's get rid of all this stuff, shall we? There we go. Get this red pen. Right, so identifying any constraints that may impact the project. So what do we think will cause us to impact the project? So limitation, constraints, resources. Now, I'm aware there is a resource pyramid. I think that's what it's called. Let me Google this, shall we? Where the heck? There it is. Sorry. It's right in front of me. And it's called resource set time and budget triangle. So this is the triangle that I keep on thinking about when it comes down to these constraints and so on. So are we going to focus on the time aspect? So we want this to be as quick as possible, and that will obviously affect the quality. Or are we going to put in more costs that will result in more time and better quality? Are we going to reduce the quality by decreasing the cost and time? Or are we going to decrease the time? It will affect definitely the quality, but decrease the quality and the cost. So it's this is increased. The other ones are always affected in the opposite direction. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment here. So we are not on the budget. Well, we are. Or I am. Time constraints, again, we're not on any time constraints. In terms of resources, it's just myself. I don't think I'm going to disappear unless I get I'm no longer here in this world. So in terms of the resources aspect, there shouldn't really be any constraints. So let's ask ChatGPT how to format this. Oh my gosh. All right, okay. Kicked out. Okay. Just sign in. Bear with me. Right, we're back. Nice. So we're going to look at this. So can you help me format and write some constraint, and then we pick and choose basically, and assumptions that may impact the project. So it's going to list some of these aspects that we've got here. The assumptions aspect here is something that we could probably write down ourselves. So these are some of the aspects here, and honestly, just for completion's sake, I would love to just copy this stuff and just put it down there and just kind of say not relevant, not relevant. But if we have no relevance, then there shouldn't be a specific reason. So in terms of constraints, we could say no time constraints. But let's go ahead and put that down here. Because we want to make sure that our documents are clear for anyone who wants to pick it up. That's including of most of the information that we need, except for this. So let's actually write this down somewhere here. So let's put in a note. No, there is no need for us to estimate a timeline for each milestone. Well, I'll put that there. So if anyone's like wondering where's the time limit for each one, timeline. So now we've kind of noted that aspect is not going to be included. So over here, similar thing. So time constraints. The project does not need to. Doesn't need to be completed within a specific time frame. Yep, that doesn't. That's fine. Just put that there. Remove that. The budget, again, the budget is limited and must be managed effectively to deliver, and that is true. Is a limited resource constraints, so limited availability of skilled personnel. There shouldn't really be any problems with technology and infrastructure because it's a pretty using tech, so skilled personnel may affect it. So if I'm busy, I'm not able to work on a project, then obviously that will be a constraint. And then who we are with the technical constraints, so compatibility issues, your standard stuff, dependencies on third parties. And this is why I mentioned earlier, where we kind of have to make sure that we are selecting the right third party services in case it doesn't get discontinued or deleted. And if we have a massive reliance on it, it might affect our project or application in a very negative way. Regulation constraints. Now we have to always comply by the law regulations. So there's data protection laws and infrastructure industry standards. We also try and keep things secure as well. So hopefully that's what we're going to do. There isn't really going to be any real personal data involved with the project, so it's going to be pseudo fake data, but we'll assume that we are building towards compliance to that data protection. Scope containing, so we've already got the scope. It won't be must be carefully evaluated to avoid project creep and maintain the project scope. So project focus. That's fine. I mean, like I said, ChatGPT is really useful for this kind of filling some of the gaps. Some of the assumptions that we are here. So in terms of the project requirements, technology resources, we've been given some here. Here's the time frame over here. So yeah, these are the shorter down versions. These are some of the assumptions being adoption, compatibility, security. That's what we need to really be doing. So we're hoping also that there will be you guys, or including myself, will be part of that contribution to the project. Are we actually giving the adequate feedback? Assumption that we're going to assume that they're going to be happy with it, the target audience, which is everyone on the planet who's not a child or who doesn't really care. And it's honestly, yeah, so the audience, in my opinion, is pretty much anyone. And then we have the next part, which is the scalability. So we assume that it's scalable. So, and that's it. These seem fine. We're just going to select this stuff here. See the outline. Right, that should hopefully be it. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just do small constraints. And now we have the assumptions. Right, these are the assumptions, and then what we're going to do is so and so. There we go. Some of the assumptions that we're going to do, and yep, very bare minimum. Let's move on to the dependencies. So again, I'm going to ask ChatGPT for that similar approach. Can you help me format and write some of the these are all, how do I say, general assumptions and constraints that all projects will face. So it's a very easy thing for yourself to just anyone else who's willing to do the same for their own projects to kind of copy it as well. Right, here we are. Dependencies. And that may impact the project. So we have been given some examples here in terms of any external dependencies. We haven't actually thought about any of them at the moment. So including external dependencies, no third parties, applications. So let's see what's been kind of suggested by ChatGPT here. So these are some of the dependencies. This is the integration of the other features. Is it actually integrate correctly? Any database data dependencies, technology dependencies on a specific technology framework. So if there's a change in the framework, maybe support ends, or the code can be open to, for example, say security flaws, right? And so I've had that before where I've kind of had to upgrade from front-end technology called Vue.js, which is a JavaScript framework, from version 2 to version 3, because some of the older code was affected by security. So just upgraded that stuff. In terms of regulation, we don't really have any regulation imposed on what we're doing. There are some aspects, of course, of the financial budgeting aspect, and that's the best of my ability. Of course, we also have the data protection. But yeah, this is the regulation dependencies. That's what I'm assuming it will probably be. The resources, in terms of who's working on it, specialized people, if there's anything affecting the project timeline, for example, shareholders requiring something to be released, and so on. Finally, the vendors, product licenses. So if we're using any licenses, we need to make sure that we're keeping them all up to date. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what we're trying to do. So again, another copy and paste aspect. So here we are, the dependencies. Right, these are the dependencies. And then finally, oh, almost done. Don't worry, almost done. Just this again. This may not be requiring to be in a specific order. So let's actually reformat this to actually make sense. So there's no specific order for these points. If they were, then we put the numbers. Right, so let's actually also look at the next action, which is hopefully the final one, risks. We obviously have approach and approval, so let's keep that in mind. So risks, some of these risks over here are again, similar to what we've done above. Identifying potential risks that may affect it. Again, these are all similar to the dependencies and constraints. You provide a brief description of those. That's what ChatGPT will hopefully do for us. And then how do we mitigate that plan? So let's go back here. Can you help write and format some risks? I don't know why I keep on writing risks that may impact the project, including so I don't think we need to really add any including, because we don't need to specify anything exact. If there's something missing, maybe let's keep that actually. Right, why not? Let's actually remove that. I'm really interested to see what general advice has been given. Can you also provide a way to mitigate those risks? So these are properly two-parter. So here we are. It's done it in that way. So if we're looking at this specifically, this is quite a lot. It's really, really, really big. It's quite a few risks, I'm assuming, because we have quite a lot of right, yeah. Let's actually see what it said. So what we're looking at here are some of the technical risks, potentially challenges in terms of implementing some of the features that we've given. So there are some really lofty ones, honestly. So maybe we might have problems with the collab tools, or maybe we may have problem with the integration of the wearable devices, or even the personalizing the plan. So there is a lot of difficulty when it comes down to these features that we have to keep in mind. A way of mitigating it, according to ChatGPT, is just conducting feasibility assessments. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do our best. Try. If there's a will, there's a way, right? There's a will, there's a way. So hopefully, we will manage to overcome these burdens and find a solution to our issues. That's what it is about. Problem solving, life, a life management tool. We can't give up on something just because it might be difficult. But we'll kind of shorthand this basically. In terms of risk, again, resources, if I'm unavailable or some constraints happen within the tool, like for example, there's some frameworks that aren't as flexible as others. So that is a constraint. And here we are with the mitigation of that. So suggesting that we speak to people, make sure that we are managing our resources effectively, that people are doing enough work or not doing too much of it. So that's pretty fine. Other risks are scheduling. So for example, deadlines in case something happens. Since we are our own project owners, so other ones, the clients, we can pick and choose when we want to switch over to a different area of the app. So we may want to, instead of build out the entire app, we will build out an entire phase. We may want to build out a single phase or build 3 phases at the same time, and work on work on multiple aspects if we wanted to. So again, it's all depending on the scheduling of that, and the best way to do that is just to make sure that we have buffer times. So if there is a difference between one phase to another, we give a few gaps of a week or so in between to make sure that we are not running into any mitigation risks, so in terms of scheduling and so on. So this is pretty interesting. Again, it seems a little bit overkill of what we're doing, because at the minute we're just a one-man team. Once we kind of get more people working on this, then maybe we'll kind of re-explore these aspects of risks. And again, it's always easier just to start some risks and maybe more in the future, and we may be able to mitigate others. Market risk, so maybe they don't accept this, maybe this is just not too fun, maybe market isn't there for this type of app. So that's a suggestion there. Risks as well. Data breaches is always a risk. Always implementing encryption, access. So typical security features try to hopefully prevent this or mitigate this risk. We're always trying to mitigate this. We're not able to 100% eliminate a risk. It's always going to be there. And in terms of the finances, obviously this is a budget thing, so we gotta manage our budget, make sure that we're not really overspending. It'll be quite funny if we can do that on our own app, right? So yeah. So what I'm gonna do here, good old good old copy and paste. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna constrain this a little bit. So can you make it more concise? So I generally ask ChatGPT to do. So here we are, make it a little bit more concise, so we're not given such a massive amount of chocker information, even though it's all good. And maybe we can add that at the bottom. So if we do risks, full version, and then we put that underneath as extra. Right. Whoa, no need to change that. The header, there we go, and then the risks full. Obviously we can do more than that, but let's there we are. And I think it's just I'd like to try this and see if it works. So let's try doing a we want this to be black actually, no? I think so. And then we want the background. Alright, let me try and do this here. Sorry, my bad, give me a second. Let me try and format this without needing to remove everything. So this is the font, this is the text, and this is the format painter, which again is, there we go. Let's color this white, and then color this white, color this white, color this black. There you go. So do this over here. Then we format all of this to have black font. Oh yeah. Honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think we can format this much better. Our own formatting is much better than this, right? So go ahead and put these bullet points, and then we just put it like this. So much easier, so much faster. It's just in full, as if we wanted to see this monstrosity. Oh, there we go. So there we are. That's hopefully in full, and then we keep this simple version around. We don't want everything too thick, too much information, you know? We don't want all that information. So here we are. These are potential risks, technical ones. Try doing it in a different manner as well. This is the concise version, so hopefully it's a quick read. So there we are. Thank you, ChatGPT. Here we are. We're just finishing off the third point. So let's look at the approach and the approval. So in terms of the approach, we're going to use Agile. So that's just a very quick one right here. We're always going to have this on a new page. Let me see if I can do that here. Page break, there we go. I just a little sneeze. Let's get the approach here. And then let's put the approval. So can you help me write the approval? Oh, sorry, the approach using Agile. Section of my project scope. A project charter, my bad. Charter. Yeah, there we go. Just oh my word. So yeah, this is basically the key elements of Agile. We're not going to my word. Okay, we'll just let it continue. That it wouldn't be a bad thing to have all of that in there. But what we're going to do is going to ask for it to be concise. More concise, please, because I already know what this is. It's for more people who don't. So I'm going to just put this here. For those who are really interested and keen to understand why we're doing something like this, let us put the approach here. Approach info. It's probably the better way of writing this down. So info, risks, info. Remove the version part. There we go. And then we are almost clear to go. Oh, my bad. Let's copy and paste this stuff. So this is all stuff that is useful for those people who want to understand benefits of Scrum. It's not the place to really put this information, and well, it is actually, because that's where ChatGPT says so. In terms of the charter, they should have everything detailed, and if people want the concise version, that's where people are able to see this work. Above, everything below here is the extra in full. Going to keep this naming methodology in the future, hopefully. So we're going to keep things concise in the first top section, and then the bottom section for those who want more information. Scroll down to the relevant area, and then they can read as much as they want. It's the beauty of it, isn't it? We're here just to learn, grow together. These are the, put this in numbers just for the interest's sake. Make this bold as well. So yes, Agile is the way to go. There are some companies that still use waterfall because they're struggling to really transition to Agile. Hopefully we'll build our own Agile skills as well while working on the project. Yeah, hopefully if there are any questions, we'll answer them together. Right, so these are some of the benefits if asked in an interview or something like that. These are the important stuff to mention. Right, so let's copy over the concise version approach here. So basically the approach that we're going to be using. And then we have just a lot of formatting, honestly, because we are just doing a lot more copying and pasting since all of this information is readily available. Oh, wait. Bullet points. Love the bullet points. Love so much these bullet points. Right, so these bold. Control B. So let's just try and do that. Control B, Control B. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so these are the 6 points. I'm just gonna put some space in between just to make it more distinct for the eyes to clearly see the differences. Right, so these are the aspects here. The key aspects within Agile that we're going to be going through. We're building hopefully an iterative development lasting 2 weeks. So we'll be going through 2-week sprints. That's the standard. So during each sprint, we'll put a set of features that we want to work on, functionalities, and we'll have a definition of done and so on. So hopefully that'll be done during the planning phase. And then we have some cross-functional team aspects. We are the team. We are the developers, designers, testers, and we're everything. But yeah, if we did have more people, then we'd have a Teams chat and so on. And then we have user-centric designs, and this is basically the agile process, prioritizing the feedback. Basically, we are our own boss, so we can be as critical as we want to be without offending ourselves, I hope. But we have to really always kind of go through this lens of what does the audience want. If we were going to use this app, is this actually what we want? Is there any improvements? And there will be, again, an iterative design or approach to development where we have an initial aspect. It may be horrible looking initially, and then we'll slowly transform it to something more usable and user-friendly, more visually appealing as well. A lot of disco lights, I'm joking. But yeah, using some continuous integration delivery tools, so hopefully Azure DevOps or AWS, depending on what we use, allow us to build some pipelines to enable it to be easier to deploy, reduce the human aspect of mistakes that we can do, and obviously automation is the key to life in the future. And adaptable, flexible, so the approach that we're using, the reason why we're using 2 weeks is every 2 weeks we build some small aspect of the features that we have a look at it. How does it look? Does it need to be improved? Are we happy with it? Yes, we move on. If not, then we add a new story that can be picked up in the future or then be picked up immediately, depending on what us as the product owners, or when we put our product owner hats, think. So that's the beauty of the iterative approach. Even if we do something initially and we want to improve it, or there's something that can be done to improve it, then we can add more user stories to fill that aspect. Regular reviews as aspect, retrospectives. There's few team agile scrum ceremonies. We generally have something called stand up. I think it's somewhere here. Let me just try and find it. Right, 1 minute. Stand up. Okay, so this is in the full section. That's the benefit over here. So in the aspects of, whoa, right, well, let's go down here, shall we? So some of the communication ways to improve the communications through these types of ceremonies. We have stand-up ceremonies. It's usually a 10 to 15-minute call between everyone on the team, where they speak about what tasks they're doing, if they've got any issues, blockers, that they need any help with. Generally, just planning for that day. We then have the sprint review. This happens at the end of every 2 weeks. So this is how we, as the customers or product owners or the clients, we are the ones who then say, are we happy with this? If yes, then we move on. If not, then we make corrections or suggestions for ourselves as developers. So we'll say, right, I really like this color, Ahmed, but can we change the font size? Something minuscule like that, right? Hopefully we won't be too harsh on ourselves, but we'll make sure that it's actually reflective of the quality. So we want to try and do a good piece of work, make it quality piece of work. Retrospectives, now again, this requires a team of many people where then we discuss how we could have improved things and where we went wrong, any problems during the sprint, and we can still have that. It just won't be as long, but that's perfectly fine. It's a way of us to take some of the mistakes that we made during those 2 weeks and build upon it. It's really, really important to follow up on these Scrum practices and implement them, because it is to always follow this continuous development that we want to as developers or BAs or whoever's interested in any kind of technology or any kind of industry, in essence, to always keep on improving, self-improvement. So yeah, let's continue by finishing off the final aspect, which is the approval. Right, so we're almost done, guys. So we've got to specify the process. So how do we know if it's been approved? And this is the list of who's going to approve it. So let's go to the section over here. So approval. So who will approve? Then you go who will approve. Now this can be changed. Me. This could change in the future. So again, I don't really like the way I write this stuff. So can you help me write? Who will the approval section? And then let's see what it says, and if there's anything that's missing, then yeah, right. This is the final part. We're not doing that. I think it's misunderstanding what we're asking it to do. But yeah, I think who needs to approve? To approve. It's just me. I think that's pretty much it. At the minute, we're happy with this. A good idea would probably be dated. We'll put the dated aspect somewhere. So when did we finish this? On the 28th of. So dated, and then put 28th of March. There we are. Enter. There we are. Done. Nice. So it's all done. We are all happy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this stream for now. And then talk about the future plans in the next episode. But hopefully we'll carry on with the BA files, BRD, make some use case documents as well. We're going to also look at some of the user stories, wireframes, and mockups, and so on. I wanted to kind of do this a little bit more than a daily thing. So hopefully tomorrow, if there is nothing that comes up, we'll come up and work on this again. So same time, about 9 o'clock, 9:15. I am gonna go and take a small break, about 10-minute break. I'll be back, and then hopefully we can look at the BRD document. And then yeah, we'll try and finish the stream after we finish that. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Bye bye. Hello, I'm back. It has been just 10 minutes. Just double check. Yep, everything is okay. Right. So where were we? Right, we finished off the project chart. Let's actually save this as a PDF. There we go. Nice. There we are. Let's look at this. So we want to know, how do we make what is a business requirements document? How do we make one? And how do we make one? There we are. Let's see what it says. So over here, let's create a Word document. B document over here. So this is what it is. It's a formal document, outlines the business needs, goals, objectives for the project initially. It serves as a foundation for the development team to understand the scope of the work, functional requirements, deliverables, and expected from the project. Aligns what the project shareholders feel and developers to understand the final business objectives. So these are some of the suggestions of what it should be including. So introduction, what we're trying to outline, the background of the project, business objectives. So we have the business objectives, defining the goals and objectives that NewMe platform aims to achieve. So specifying the desired outcomes and benefits for the organization and its users. So that's what we've kind of already done. Some of this stuff, the scope as well. Stakeholder analysis. So some of the analysis that's been done by the stakeholders, functional requirements, providing a detailed list of functional requirements. So the core features, specifying them. This is all suggestions. We've done most of this in the project chart. This may be just some of the copy and pasting that we made mention of. Some of it is a repetition. So non-functional requirements, such as the performance and so on, criteria. We have the assumptions and constraints, and then we have the business flow process, data requirements, and then we have acceptance criteria. Of course, then the sign off, right? So before we start off, just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. I'm back. So here we are. We are going to open this up. See how quickly this takes us. So business document. And mention what it is here. There we are. Explains what it is. And then what we have below here is the list. So let's go ahead with the introduction. So it says, what is the purpose of this document? Can you help me write the introduction for our BRD document? So it's very much similar to what we had before. A lot of copy and pasting over here. This is it in full. So aims to revolutionize lifestyle management tools, leading to healthier, happier, balanced lives. Includes a lot of aspects that we engage with in our daily lives. And then we have the project background. So it's a user-friendly platform, digital tools, and so that is the aspect there. And then the BRP will outline the needs for the goals. So I think that's probably what we'll do here. Purpose of this document over here. There we are. And we'll keep this stuff. Here we are. I'm not entirely sure we need a project background. I'm just gonna, as earlier suggested, snip this. Snip. Right. We're working on this first. And then we have this in the middle. Right. So this is the aspect over here for the business requirement documents. And that is the purpose of the document. That's already been done. Right, so this does actually need to be here. Okay. And then we have project background. Right, that's fine. So I understand what I'm trying to do now. So there we are. Project background. And the business, it's called the purpose of the document. All right, purpose of document. Make this a header number 2. Honestly, I want this to be a header number 2 and make this header number 3. There we are. It's the introduction, purpose of the document, project background. So that's fine. That's been done. Very quick, so quick. We're gonna do this with ChatGPT because we're trying to rush this a little bit. So can you help me write business objectives? And then here it is, some project objectives. These are what we already have. So these are the defined overarching goals of the project, achieving the business objectives. So enhancing user interactions. So these are the key results. I think we've mentioned this before in our project charter. we're not going to include this, honestly. The key results, specifying the outcome and benefits for the users, and then define the business goals and objectives. So this is the first one, right? So define the business goals and objectives of the NewMe platform and what it aims to achieve. So this is the objective, that's fine. And then the next one is the benefits, desired outcomes. So can you rewrite, keep the objectives, but remove key results. Instead, replace this with benefits and outcome. Let's see what it says, and then kind of stick to it. There we go. That's fine by me. So let's add this here, business objectives again. This is a slimmed down version of it. Okie dokie. I'll do this super quick, hopefully. We're BAing a lot, aren't we? BA hat is on for quite some time, isn't it? Hopefully during this design phase, we'll be able to do quite a bit of BAing. Right, let's go back to this and fix up the formatting. So how is everyone doing, by the way? While I'm formatting this, I hope you're all doing well, all happy, healthy, super not stressed. Oh. So yeah, I think doing this really does help me kind of keep skills up, being able to do my own personal projects as well. So it's a really good idea to try and do this every now and then. Having that freedom as well. So yeah, I'm so happy with these two. So let's work on the scope as well. So I think we've already had scope here. So can you right, show me the scope? And then once we've got the scope, defining it, including the features, target audiences, outline any constraints or limitations of the project scope. So let's see what it says here. This is the scope. Encompasses a comprehensive design, feature-rich web application, mobile